What's going on, everybody? How's it going, Richie? How's it going, Kyle?
It's going well.
All right.
I want to hear your dramatic opening.
Well, we are live. Welcome to the Shoot Your Shot Scorecast. We're brought to you by Thrive Fantasy. Thrive Fantasy is a daily fantasy site for player props, and what's awesome about it is that it's just so easy to play. You pick your team, obviously, like you do in all fantasy sports, but you make your selections based on player props and the over-unders that are posted on Thrive Fantasy. And the riskier the selection, the more points it's worth. The more points you have, the better chance you have to winning a piece of the huge prize pool. So to play, go download the Thrive Fantasy app from the iOS store, Google Play Store, whatever device you have, or you can go to their website, www.thrivefantasy.com. When you sign up, this is important. Don't forget at sign up to enter our promo code FNFantasy and get matched anywhere from $20 up to $50 after your first deposit. Remember, when you sign up, use that code as soon as you sign up. And sign up and prop up. I said sign up a lot. Sign up and prop up right now and stay tuned later in the show for our Thrive Fantasy prop picks of the week.
Woo! Oh, man. Well, before we get into our rules and our picks for this week, we have to discuss, first we'll discuss the NFL picks from last week, and then we'll also get into our NBA draft picks because we did the top 5, and at this point, the top 5 are in, and we all, Richie and I did really bad. So we'll get into that in a minute. But let's start with NBA. So I think both on Frustration Nation and on Off the Cuff, we all mentioned that this was a really rough week for us in the terms of picking games for the NFL. So what did you guys think of the week?
Rough.
Oof. Not great.
Yeah. It was kind of funny because it started off in we all got Tennessee wrong because they got blown out by the Colts on Thursday Night Football. The Browns pushed.
There's a poop joke there.
Yeah. And then the rest of the slate, we all did fairly well. There was a decent amount of green on our chart. Richie was outside of Tennessee and the Browns, Richie was perfect in his early slate.
Those noon games, you were good on those, yeah.
Yeah. But then after that, we just got massacred.
It was like the witching hour times 10. It was bad.
I feel like everybody kind of got some bad beats because, we were all on the Bills. A lot of people were. Obviously,
we all
that
had
last
Seattle.
second play. Yeah, Seattle was rough.
We all had the Ravens and the Bears.
Yeah, just unfortunate. And then, Kyle and I locked the Ravens. You locked the Bears. That hurts. Just a weird week. You guys both got a good break on Washington, but Detroit looks like they're going to blow them out, and then it gives up the late cover. I just want to move on from that week.
I'm going to go ahead and admit that for the Saints-Niners game, while we were in the middle of our live picks, so before the show, I had written down Niners on my chart. And then during the Seattle picks, I was thinking in my head, man, I just don't have a good feeling about the Niners. And I remembered specifically just how injured they were. And I switched to the Saints at the last moment before we got to that pick. So I was obviously really happy that I did that because So anyway,
well, speaking of injuries, Drew Brees gave his life to cover for you. So I hope you're happy.
I am happy because otherwise I'd have the same record as you, man. Michigan hat. So
which would be terrible, obviously.
Well, none of us did great. So Richie is 6-7 after week 1. I'm 5-8. And Man Michigan Hat is 4-9. So if only I hadn't locked the Bears, if I had locked another team, I would have had a much better shot. I would have tied Richie. So Richie, the difference between you and I was that you got your lock right, which was Vegas.
Yep. Want to know our locks.
Huge. Yeah.
So, but I don't know. It was definitely a rough week. Happy to move on to a new one. So let's talk about real quick the NBA draft. So the official top 5 of the NBA draft was Anthony Edwards to Minnesota, James Wiseman to Golden State, LaMelo Ball to Charlotte, Patrick Williams to Chicago, and was it a Quora or a Kongwu that went to Cleveland? Or not a Quoro or
The second one you said.
a Kongwu? Onika Kongwu?
Yeah.
To Cleveland?
Double O.
Okay. So that was the official order. And as a spoiler alert, none of us picked Patrick Williams or Kongwu in this top 5.
I don't think anybody did. Late I saw some Patrick Williams, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like early on when we were doing our prep for this show, I didn't see those names projected top 5 really anywhere. So
yeah. Well, it's crazy too because all right, so our bottom our picks 4 and 5 were I had Killian Hayes, but then the rest of them were Denny Avdia and Obi Toppin. And of those 3 names, it's crazy to me actually that Killian Hayes was the highest of those 3 names picked. Because in the end, Killian Hayes went to the Pistons at 7. Then then the Obi Toppin went 8th, and then Denny Avdia went 9.
he was a steal at 9, I thought.
Oh yeah,
he seemed like a lock for a top 5. Yeah, it was just weird.
So in the end, none of us get the extra point for getting the top 5 players right. We don't get extra points for them being in the right order, and all 3 of the teams we projected, the Pistons, OKC, and 76ers, they all made moves, but they were not into the top 5. So we don't get any extra points. So it just comes down to the picks. I had James Wiseman correct. Richie had Anthony Edwards correct. And Man Michigan Hat had the top 3 picks correct on his board. So each of us gets to add those points to our score from this past week's Scorecast. We'll probably just add that to the NFL score, don't you think?
Yeah, because we don't do, obviously, with there only being 1 draft, there's no reason to keep it separate like we do for college. So
yeah,
I think it's kind of just bonus points for our,
Yeah. So do we want to add just the positive points to be nice to ourselves, or do we want to add the negatives too?
I think the bonus points shouldn't count as negatives, but maybe the regular picks. I don't know.
Okay. So
whatever you guys think, or even if you want to not add it and just have like a miscellaneous section if we ever do golf or like any other stuff, we'll figure that out and see.
So the answer to everybody watching is that we will figure out later what we're going to do with those points. But as of now, the Man Michigan Hat won the NBA draft Scorecast. So those are our results from last week. Check in later. We're going to do a college football pick 'em later, and we'll discuss our results from college football week in that video. But with that, let's get into our rules so we can get into our picks.
All right, guys. So before we start with our picks, let's get into the rules. Every episode, we make our picks for every big game for the upcoming week. We each have to use 1 skip worth 0 wins or losses and 1 lock worth 2 wins or losses. Is that right? That's right. Yeah. I'm the rules analyst. I got this. All right, cool. So every other pick is worth 1 win or loss. So we keep track of our records. And by the end of the season, there will be a reward for the winner, which we have not determined yet. So get ready for the best pick 'em show out there. Because unlike other ones, the Scorecast, we won't be wrong.
Ever.
It's impossible. Even though we just went over our records.
But collectively, we shouldn't be wrong.
That's right. Yeah, we made a pact outside the show, everyone, that we're always gonna, like, as long as one person picks the other side, like assuming we're picking games, the 2 teams, as long as one person picks the other, then we should be good. And covering that promise. For
NFL analysts too, like you always get nervous when you see all of them take somebody,
Yeah.
Kind of the same principle. Yep. Like we just can't look bad as long as one of us is right. So yeah.
My all-time favorite.
If we all pick the same pick, just fade us.
Yeah. Definitely go the other way. Yep.
My all-time favorite graphic of that was back, I think it was a Thanksgiving night game, like a Thursday night game, and it was Packers-Bears. Every analyst picked the Packers, who are a major favorite, and Mike Ditka picked the Bears.
Yeah,
and the Bears won.
Sometimes it pays to be a homer.
That's right. All right, well, let's get into our picks then. So starting off with Thursday Night Football, Cardinals at Seahawks. Seahawks favored by 3. I'm throw it over to you, man. The Michigan hat.
Didn't these two teams just play like a couple days ago? It feels like, like I mean, I know it was like they get a couple games
Like
close
each
together.
other, or
Yeah,
like
I mean, it was
It was a
well
couple
actually
weeks
like
ago. I do remember this game. It
like
was
3
a
weeks
very
ago.
high-scoring game.
Yeah.
It was a
But I
Sunday
just
game.
looked at this. I was like, didn't we just play this game?
the
Yeah.
DK Metcalf Buda Baker game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great game. Overtime. One of the best games of the year. I'm kind of surprised that Seattle's favored in the rematch. They're the home team, so the 3 points, maybe they're just looking at it like a pick 'em. Cardinals are coming off a big win, though. They've already beat the Seahawks once, and you're giving me 3 points. I will take the Cardinals here.
So
I just don't trust the Seattle defense as much as I think there's a good chance there's a bounce back game for Russell Wilson. I just can't trust the defense when they're favored.
well, you son of a gun, you stole all my analysis, and I have I have the Cardinals also in this game.
Nice.
My focus is just going to be, Seattle's really been on the downtrend, while Arizona's been on, the way up, and it's largely due to Seattle's weak, league worst defense, and I feel like Cliff and Kyler and DeAndre can just carve up that Seattle defense, and when you get into a shootout, I think, Russell Wilson's obviously going to be great in that, MVP candidate, but so is Kyler. Kyler's an MVP candidate. You saw what he did last week with that Hail Mary to D-Hop. So I'm going Cardinals.
Yep.
Awesome. So I'll give you guys a stat since you stole all of my, obviously, like the same analysis, but the Seahawks are 1-5 against the spread in the last 6 divisional games. So that even more gives me the fact that I want to take the Cardinals +3. So
Oh no, we just did it.
Call.
After talking about it. We all take the Cardinals. Listeners, you should go get a second mortgage and bet all your money right now on the Seahawks.
but we didn't lock it, so you can't blame us. We didn't
That's
lock
true.
it.
They're not locks, but
Yeah.
If
I
we did
will
all
not bet our
locks, that'd be
locks.
hilarious.
Also,
I
if
think
you
it
don't
could
trust-
happen. I think it could
At
happen.
some point, there will be a game that is just so ridiculous that, yeah, like the next time the Lions are favored or something.
The Bears won't be favored. The Bears may go this whole season not being favored in a game. Just saying.
Is the Lions game at Ford Field?
No, it's at Soldier Field.
He'll be favored in that one.
Maybe.
I'd say by 2 or 3. Hey, a Michigan fan. I am so sorry, dude.
Yeah, our condolences.
Yeah. It's been a rough year.
Eagles at Browns. Let's just move right past the Michigan sentiments. Browns favored by 3.5. Sounds like another good opportunity for Nick Chubb to step out of bounds.
Oh, that's
Oh my
another
God.
bad beat. Yeah.
I'm gonna start on this one. I just don't have like any faith in the Eagles. Any team really in the NFC East. I just have nothing, like no positivity to give them. And Carson Wentz is just, he's going to get eaten up by the Browns defense. Nick Chubb is going to run all over the place. This is just not going to be a good matchup for the Eagles, so I'm taking the Browns.
I like that. Richie?
So I don't have a stat for you right now, but I just know the Eagles are depleted still. Zach Ertz is still out. I like the Browns. They're at home. I know that doesn't really count because COVID and like the fans and stuff. Isn't there some fans in like Cleveland? There's like some, right?
I think
Yeah.
Cleveland did.
Yeah.
But Ohio just had an executive order for where I know college football won't have fans anymore. I think this week they're not able to have fans. I'm not sure.
Got it.
No fans in the dog pound.
Dang. So yeah, this is risky because of last week, but I do pick the Browns -3.5.
Here we go again. I'm going to join you guys. We're all three going to pick the Browns.
Ruh-roh.
So the Browns are inconsistent, but the Eagles are consistently garbage. 3.5 just isn't enough points. I think the Browns win by at least 2 scores, and I would lock this if the Browns just were more consistent. clearly the better team here, though. So I'll take Cleveland, like you, both of you guys.
All right, Falcons at Saints. Saints by 5 is the spread. It is a big number considering. So it'll be the Jameis and Taysom show down in Nolans.
What for better or for worse? 5 is just a weird number too. You don't see 5 very often.
Yeah,
You don't. You don't. I can start off.
Yeah, go Richie.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna go against that better judgment. I do love seeing me some Jameis and Nola. It's a fine sight to see, but I think the Falcons can cover a +5. So I don't know. Jameis is good, but I don't think he's like that great. So
yeah. Oh man, this one's tough because obviously with the uncertainty with the quarterback situation, they are still the better team. I think. I mean, you have Kamara. I think with weapons like Kamara and Thomas, if Thomas actually decides he wants to play this week, like that'll obviously help Jameis or Taysom, whoever's throwing the football. But the Falcons are still just a dangerous underdog because of all the weapons they have on offense. Like it feels like they could get a late touchdown to cover or something. I don't like this one, but I'm going to take the Saints to pull away. Maybe they pull away late and cover, but I think they cover the 5.
I just don't like the Falcons this year. Like every game the Falcons play, you just remember the multiple games throughout the year where they've given up the lead late in the game.
Yep.
Whether it's the Bears game, the Lions game, the Cowboys game, like there's so many examples this year where the Falcons are just incompetent in terms of closing out games, which could mean it's a close game. But I do feel like the Saints' talent level overall is higher. So I'm still sticking with the Saints, who are the favorite by 5 to win and cover.
Whoa.
What's the matter?
The Pistons got another pick this draft.
I saw that.
They're at 19.
Yeah.
What are we
taking all the
doing?
first round.
All right. Since this is the NFL Pick'em show, thank you very much. We're going to move on to the Bengals at the Washington football team. Washington is favored by 1.5. So this is one of those situations at 1.5 where it feels kind of like you just pick.
Nice.
Like, you know what I mean though? Like there's not really a
like what's the chance you're going to get a 1-point difference?
Yeah. So, Man of Michigan Hat, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
Okay. I mean, two objectively bad teams. I feel like this line, though, is a little bit of an overreaction to last week. So Washington, they did come back against Detroit, but I think that honestly said more about the Lions than it did about Washington. The Bengals come off a tough loss, but it's against the best team in football. So I think Burrow and the Bengals are kind of undervalued and bounce back here. So like you said, it's not like taking it. I mean, they are the underdog, so I'm technically getting 1.5. Not that matters as much, but even in a straight pick 'em, I'll take the Bengals in this one.
Richie.
All right, so I let the Joey Burrow, T. Higgins connection all day. I got stat for you. The Bengals are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games and 4-0 against the spread against non-divisional opponents. I'm going to take the Bengals.
Boom.
And I'm going to join the Bengals party. I feel kind of similar to what Man of Michigan Hat said about Washington not looking great and that close game against Detroit being maybe more about the Lions' holes on defense than what Washington is capable of. I'm sticking with the Bengals. This is shaping up to either be a really good week for all of us or
just thinking
a really bad week.
If we have another week that's worse than last week, we should just cancel the show. It's been fun, everyone.
All right.
Or just name it Fade to Scorecast.
Yeah.
Did you pick Saints or Falcons last one?
I picked the Saints.
Okay, cool. I'll add that in the notes.
We're going on now to Man Michigan Hat's team, Lions at Panthers. Carolina's favored by 1.5, which is interesting to me. So I guess since I started kind of analyzing it a little bit, I'm just gonna go. Carolina is such a weird team to me because they hang so close with Kansas City, get blown out by Tampa Bay. They lost to the Bears earlier. Like they're very up and down. They have the capability to win big. They have the capability to lose to a bad team. I just don't know. I think it's because I'm growing pessimistic as a Bears fan, but I'm picking the Lions to win this game. Simply because I think it'd be just so perfect for the Bears to, after the bye week, be tied for last place in the NFC North with both the Vikings and the Lions. So
you'd have the tiebreaker against us at least. So
for now,
the Vikings have it, so we'd still be last. But yeah.
So
what do you think, Richie?
So I think it's a coin flip, honestly. I have a stat for you guys again. Carolina is 5-2 against the spread in the last 7 games, but since it's a small spread, I'm going to go Lions plus 1.5. I think they can do it.
Nice.
I did not expect to be in a situation where we could all potentially take the Lions. It's almost making me second guess and see if I can get a 3-point here. This one's weird. Christian McCaffrey's out again. Teddy Bridgewater's uncertain. The Lions, Marvin Jones is going to be out. Stafford has thumb issues. He has a torn ligament. He probably will play, but you don't know how that's going to affect him or if he does have to miss time. Man. I think Teddy Bridgewater, if he plays this game, you should ignore everything I'm about to say and probably bet on the Panthers. But call me an idiot, but after 1 week after getting burned by the Lions not covering, I'm going to set myself up to do it again.
Woo!
Give me the Lions to not only cover, but to win this game outright. You can take the pencil from out behind Patricia's ear and write this down. The Lions are back in business, back in the hunt, back-to-back wins.
Whoa!
Detroit Lions win and cover.
We're going to go on a mini streak, I feel like.
In the hunt at 500, just like the Bears. And
technically in the hunt.
Yeah, that's right.
In the hunt, quotation mark.
Mathematically not eliminated.
There you go.
That should be a new part of the, you know how they show the graphic of playoff picture in the hunt? They should have a new box that says mathematically not eliminated.
Technically not dead.
Yeah.
Technically.
Right.
All right.
All taking Lions. This is, wow.
Steelers at the Jaguars. Pittsburgh is the 10-point road favorite. So everyone knows that it's really, really hard to win in Jacksonville. I'm totally kidding. I think this is a game where, after a game where Jacksonville carved up the Packers' porous run defense, and very narrowly lost to the Packers, I think this is a game where the Jaguars return to earth from their quick journey in outer space, and I think the Steelers cover the 10 and win.
Nice. 10 is a big number. But I've kind of been riding with the Steelers recently, and they haven't burned me yet with those big numbers. And I just don't want to overthink this one. Yes, the Jags played well against the Packers, but are they a good team? Are the Steelers 10 points better than the Jaguars? Yes. So I'll take the Steelers minus 10. Trying not to overthink the big number.
I think the Jags are going to keep it close. With the Steelers, but they're not going to win it. So I'm going to take the Jags on this. It could be close. I feel like the Steelers might be an upset, but it's going to be close. I feel like.
I like that.
I like the bold pick.
You need to make picks like that to get a point on us.
True.
Those are the kind of moves where, when two people pick the one and you go the other way, especially taking the points, gives you a good chance to. Yeah,
it's like 2 scores, so I don't know.
Get a leg up. Yeah.
And weren't they really close last week against Green Bay?
They lost by 4, I think, to Green Bay.
Yeah, so that's what I'm basing off of.
Green Bay was favored by 13.5.
Yeah.
So. All right. Titans at Ravens. Baltimore favored by 6.5. Uh, Richie, I'm going to start with you on this one.
Thing, because I'm gonna skip this one because this is the hardest one on the board for me. At least I couldn't figure it out. Yeah, on to Michigan Hat. Yes.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm just confused, kind of like, how is Baltimore favored by almost a touchdown? So, I mean, maybe I'm just still upset because I picked them as my lock last week, but that was a terrible loss. Yes, they played in bad weather, and yes, Belichick's a good coach, but that's not a good Patriots team.
Also, when it's bad weather, you run the ball. So for everyone that's like, Lamar Jackson is a great running back who throws the ball, why didn't you why didn't you run the ball more?
And it's just weird because their whole offense is basically based on play action. Like when you try to stretch the field, it just doesn't work. And why were you trying to stretch the field in that game? Like, I know you at a certain point you need to come back, but just a bad offensive game plan. And I'm just surprised they're favored by basically a touchdown over a solid Titans team. Really, this feels like it should be a pick 'em to me. It's just a weird line. Usually Vegas is right on these ones, and I get burned, but I'll take the Titans with these points.
All right, so for me, this game, a lot of similar thoughts that were already expressed. I feel like both of these teams have been similar to the Panthers in the sense where they've been up and down a lot. And the difference between these teams and the Panthers is that both of these teams entered the season with very high expectations based on their talent level and their success from last year. But both teams have exceeded expectations at points, and both teams have definitely failed to meet expectations at points. I feel like both of these teams are kind of in a rut right now, and I'm honestly here with Richie. I had to skip this game because I could see the Titans coming out and saying, like, look, we're really our contender for the AFC again. I could see the Ravens coming out and proving that too. I just have no leaning one way or the other, and that's why I had to skip this one.
Yeah.
All right. Bill Belichick, Cam Newton, and the Patriots visiting Houston with no longer Bill O'Brien and no longer DeAndre Hopkins. New England is favored by a safety. What are your thoughts?
Go ahead, Richie, on this one.
All right, I'll go first. So I think the Texans just stink. They don't have anything whatsoever. Although this stat is irrelevant, kind of, because, well, it was weird because when I read it, I'm like, oh, that sounded great, but I'll just say it anyways. Watson is 2-1 against the spread, with all three decided by touchdown or less against the Pats, but that was when Brady was there. So, I mean, it's kind of irrelevant. So, yeah, I'm just going to pick the Pats. It's hard. It's super hard. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, both teams have changed so much in the past year. Two honestly bad teams, but two very different head coaches and two teams that kind of look like they're going in different directions. Belichick just knows how to win, even when he doesn't have a team that's supposed to win.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks have been a struggle, but I still think Cam Newton has the potential to win a game for you at some point when he needs to. I don't think the Patriots are for real or Super Bowl contenders or anything, but they're a borderline playoff team, and so for them, this is going to be a super important game. I think the Pats win and cover. Yeah, kind of a weird game to pick, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, this is one of those games this week where I look at it and I'm like, yeah, I'm skipping this one. The Patriots are an interesting story because of, their long history now with Tom Brady and now him being gone. How's Belichick doing? And the Patriots have looked a lot better the past couple weeks. All that being said, I just don't have faith the Texans can. I think the Patriots will win this game, and I think they'll win it and cover. And so I have the Patriots as well.
Nice.
All right, Denver is hosting the Dolphins, and Miami is a road favorite in the Mile High City by a field goal. What are your guys' thoughts? I'm going to throw it. I
Go
guess
ahead.
I'm throwing it to the Michigan hat. Go
No,
ahead.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
That was more of a thoughtful.
Oh, okay. Then I'm going to throw it to Richie.
All right.
All right, cool. I'll go first. So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this now. This is my lock of the week.
Woo!
Sound the horn. I love Tua. The Broncos defense is pretty bad, I think. Dolphins by 1 million.
Well, our
First lock, yeah.
Yeah, our locks are brought to you by the Shoot Your Shot Sports merch store. So go shop.shootyourshotsports.com and you can check out our latest gear, new hats and shirts and sweaters and mugs dropping often. So go there to lock down the gear of your favorite shows right now.
Nice.
All right, man of the Michigan hat, why don't you get into what your pick is for this game?
Tua's looked great, and it's irritating because I'm still just pissed that the Lions didn't draft him. The Broncos are not a good team, and I feel like they're one of those teams that's been kind of borderline, and with the injuries now is about to just unravel completely. So give me the Dolphins here, and not only that, but I'm going to lock this one up. Like Richie.
Okay.
This is my official Master Lock Padlock of the week, brought to you by Master Lock. Go to masterlocks.com for your combination.
Not a sponsor.
Nation locks, bike lock, locking needs. Unlike Drew Lock in this game, their locks will never fail. Master Lock, not a sponsor.
Oh, that was something. Good job. I liked that. That was good.
Yeah, that was a practice read. Yeah, Master Lock. If you're listening, that's what we can offer. That's what we bring to the table. I look forward to hearing from you and working with you.
Well, I don't really have a transition from the lock jokes to this.
There is,
but I am. I am not locking this, but I am picking the Dolphins. So the reason I'm not locking it is because it has been no matter how bad the Broncos are, it has historically always been hard to win in Denver largely because of it being the altitude. The Broncos usually defend home fairly well as well. So I do think that the Dolphins win. Even though it's only 3 points, I don't know that they will. I don't know. I'm picking the Dolphins to cover, but I think it'll be tough. That's why I'm not locking it. Sup, Drew?
Sup, Big Daddy Drew?
Drew.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm right.
All right. Let's get into the New York Football Jets at the Los Angeles, formerly San Diego Chargers. The Chargers are favored by 8.5, which is an interesting number to me as well.
Very interesting.
Because that's basically 3 field goals, and that feels like what this game will be. Is field goals.
Really? You think so? I think Justin Herbert's actually pretty good.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'll go first, but I think Justin Herbert can generate the offense, but I feel like the Jets could come close. So it's weird. I feel like I'm going to say the Jets are going to cover, but Chargers are going to win. So,
wow.
Yeah. So I agree. I think Herbert is good for sure. I think he's probably your lead candidate for Rookie of the Year. I don't know. I definitely
we're almost done, Drew, so probably not.
Here's my gut. It takes a very special, very, very, very special kind of awful to go 0-16. Isn't that right, Michigan Hat?
Yes, it is. It's a once in a lifetime kind of experience.
The Dolphins didn't they?
No, the Browns. The Browns.
Only the rarest of terrible franchises can pull off such a feat.
Now, the Jets joining the Browns and Lions would be like the holy trinity of awful NFL teams. However, I feel like at some point the Jets are going to win, and I feel like this is the game. So I have
holy crap.
I have picked the Jets as well. I'm not locking it, not by a long
Imagine
shot,
that lock.
but I have picked the Jets to. I mean, I pick them to win. That doesn't matter in our show.
Right. I like the boldness though.
Yeah, thank you.
This is tough because it's a big number for a team that's what 2-7 now, and it's a team that's just has trouble closing out.
But most of their losses have been by one score.
Yeah, but like it feels like a team that even if they win, it's going to be close. One of my tried and true betting rules, though, is to always bet against the Jets. I think the Chargers know, and I think the reason the line is where it's at is because everybody else knows that they're better than their record. I think Herbert has a huge game, and the Chargers cover. But that is a big number for a team that's not their record is not that much better than the Jets. So,
yeah, I would just urge you not. Okay, look, I'm picking the Jets. I would urge you not to bet on the Jets, though. whoever's watching this,
if I'm betting this,
I might take the money line. I don't know, just for fun.
What did you say?
I might take the money line just for fun.
Yeah, if you think the Jets are actually going to win, you're probably going to get a good money line. If the Chargers are favored by 8.5, I don't know what would be plus.
Thinking about it,
it's interesting. Yeah,
it is interesting.
It's probably like a 5-1 return or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't bet money lines that often. Yeah, it's more fun to bet the spreads. But yeah, that might be a good play.
Personally, I felt like I really needed a bold pick in this, and I just the Jets are running out of teams. I feel like that they're capable of beating, and I feel like one of these teams that are beatable, they will win at least one of these games. Yep. I feel it. All right, Packers at Colts. Colts favored by 2.5. I'm going to throw it over to Richie.
All right. So,
Skyler, thanks for watching, bud.
I like that note too. I mean, doesn't that seem like what normally happens? Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to say that this is a trap game. I hate this game. I would have skipped this if I could, but I don't know why the Colts are favored by 2.5. The Packers are going to kill them, I feel like. But this is where, like, I hate betting the Packers because they do shit like this. Like, they're underdogs. Am I missing something? Like, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. I think the Packers are going to win this.
If Jonathan Taylor can, and what's his name, Hines, if they can run down the throats of the Packers, it just seems like almost anybody can, then the Colts could be in for a big game. But that being said, I've just in my lifetime been burned too often by Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. And they showed last week, even though they were struggling against the Jacksonville, they've showed this whole season all they need is Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers together to win big. Yep. And so I'm picking the Packers to cover.
And Richie, did you pick the Packers too, or
yeah,
I missed yours? Oh, gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Man, I think there is a good chance the Colts win this game. For some of the reasons
thrilled.
You mentioned, Kyle. Yeah, obviously, I hope they do.
Big Colts fan this weekend.
Yeah, like they've got a good running game. They've got a solid defense. I think there's a chance they could control the clock, keep it out of Rodgers' hands, and win this game. But it's really hard to bet against the Packers as underdogs. I think they probably. If I had to pick who wins this game, I think they have a better than 50% chance of winning or at least losing by a point or two. So I think they keep it close and cover. Yes, they did look bad against the Jags, and I hate that I'm about to defend the Packers, but remember, the Colts lost to the Jags already week 1. So I think Packers bounce back and cover this.
All right. Next up, we have the Dallas Cowboys at the Minnesota Vikings, mini by 7.5. Michigan Hat, what are your thoughts on this one?
Okay, so after last week, I was already kind of looking ahead and excited to pick against the Vikings. Why did it have to be the Cowboys, though? And the reason is because I think the Vikings are overvalued after their past 3 wins. Like, obviously 3 really good wins against divisional teams, but 3 really good wins doesn't necessarily make you a good team. They're just quality wins. All that being said, man, I'm still going to stick with what my initial reaction was. I'm going to take Dallas and the points.
Wow.
But I don't feel great about it. I think that maybe this is the kind of game the Vikings win by a touchdown, and at 7.5, the Cowboys still cover. Like, it's going to be, if I get this right, I think it'll be close. I just feel like Minnesota kind of is in a letdown spot and is maybe a little overvalued right now.
I think that Minnesota is definitely I can see where you're coming from with a letdown. I definitely think that they have had a really good run here, but this is the Cowboys. And Dalvin Cook, people were praising the Bears for shutting down Dalvin Cook. He still ran for 96 yards. He didn't score a touchdown, but still, like, come on.
Yeah.
And this is the Cowboys. I said that once already.
So really all that needs to be said.
Being that this is the Cowboys, I have locked in the Vikings to win and cover this game at home against the Cowboys.
How gross do you feel having to lock a division rival?
I
just beat you.
A few weeks ago, when this show is still on the Frustration Nation podcast, I locked the Packers.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It happens.
This is for my own record, okay?
That's fair.
And I hate the Cowboys. I mean, I hate the Cowboys probably as much as I hate the Vikings, maybe. I don't know.
Whoa.
Maybe not.
I've never hated the Cowboys, just their fans.
Yeah, the fans, I guess.
Yeah.
So if you're a Cowboys fan watching, you can go ahead and leave. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Yeah.
All right, Richie, what's your thoughts?
So
we love you all.
I've got a stat for you guys. Dallas is 1-8 against the spread in the last 9 games. But I mean, that's the horrible run of luck they had, like, injuries and all that. But I heard the Red Rifle's coming back in. Andy Dalton, is that correct? Is he coming back in as
I haven't
QB?
heard that.
If Andy Dalton's coming back, then that changes everything.
I'm not sure, though. Don't quote me. I thought I saw something today on Twitter, but could be off. Could be wrong. But if not, well, I'm still going to pick the Cowboys. So I think the Cowboys are going to cover. So.
Oh, man. This is so interesting because, like, you guys both picked the Cowboys. And I not only did I pick the Vikings, but I locked the Vikings.
This is like a 4-point swing either way.
Yeah, it'll be big.
Yeah. Or 3, I guess. Yeah.
All right. Chiefs at Raiders. By the way, Jim, thanks for watching. And thank you. I appreciate the compliment on my hat. You can go pick one up if you want at the place I already advertised on the show during our locks.
Look at that branding layup.
Yeah, which is shop.shootyourshotsports.com.
Nice. Thanks.
I got to talk into the mic more so it doesn't echo. So do I sound better? I have no idea.
Yes, you do. You sound clearer.
Cool.
I was too excited to lock the Vikings to point this out to you. So, all right, Chiefs at Raiders. This is an interesting note, by the way. This game is slated to be the Sunday Night Football game, but the Raiders have had some COVID issues this week, and so the league is considering moving them to an afternoon slot so that the league does not lose their primetime slot. I haven't heard yet who they would flex to Sunday night if they move this game to the afternoon.
Probably the Lions.
Yeah. Or Jets Chargers.
Yeah, that's a good one.
By the way, how do you feel about the Jets having that Monday Night Football game against the Pats and the Lions can't get a primetime game?
I mean, we don't deserve one, but do the Jets? Yeah.
No. Only because the Jets are New York.
Yeah, because they're New York. They have
the
to
market, which I get. You respect the market, so whatever.
All right, so let's get into picking this game. Personally, I don't think when they play really matters in this game. Okay, look, the Raiders came out and upset the Chiefs at Arrowhead, and it was a big game. It was a very fun game to watch, and I think it kind of gave some warning signs to the Chiefs. I've been riding very high on the Raiders this whole season, but I think this is the game where Pat Mahomes it's the revenge game against the Raiders. So I'm picking the Chiefs to win and cover against the Raiders.
We were supposed to ride the Raiders the rest of the year together. I was counting on you.
Maybe next week.
Disappointing. Okay. I need some time to process that. Richie, what are your thoughts?
I totally agree with Fierce George. Yeah, this is the bounce back game that the Chiefs need. They were double-digit favorites. Yeah,
they've had this one circled on their calendar ever since they
Yeah,
lost
they're
at
pissed.
home to the Raiders. Yeah,
they're totally pissed. They're frustrated. So, yeah.
Frustration
true.
Nation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I take the Chiefs.
Yeah. Well, now I don't want to play this by myself, so I'm going to skip this one.
Ooh.
Kyle and I together, we've been consistently high on the Raiders. They beat the Chiefs once this year, but without my Raiders buddy, I don't think I can do it. It's disappointing. I had high hopes for our pick together this week, but realistically, though, I'd probably rather not pick against Mahomes and the Chiefs anyway. I do think they'll have a lot to prove coming out of the bye week against the only team that's beat them. So, yeah, and honestly, at 7 points, there's a good chance for a push here anyway. This game might be flex. There's a lot of unknowns, so probably a good one to skip, but still disappointing.
Yeah. It is definitely an intriguing game. I think it could go either way, it's a good skip. It's a good skip, but I'm convinced that, like I said, they've had this one circled. They're ready to bounce back, improve everyone. They are better than the Raiders. And real quick note, Man Michigan Hat used his skip here, and our skips are brought to you by Fanatics. Fanatics is the one-stop shop for all your sports gear needs, so don't skip out on gearing up for the season and go to shootyourshotsports.com/fanatics. Click on the link to purchase through there. You get a discount, and we get some of the proceeds. Teamwork makes the dream work. Not the movie studio. DreamWorks.
Not a sponsor.
Not the makers of Shrek, but
Was that Shrek?
What?
Was that Shrek? DreamWorks?
Yeah. All right, last pick, Monday Night Football. The Los Angeles Rams visiting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay is favored by a field goal here. I'm going to throw it to Richie.
I like the Bucs in this game. I think it's kind of a toss-up. I mean, the Rams, I think they suck still, but did they just come out to win, I feel like, last week? So it's kind of weird. But I just feel like the Bucs are going to win.
Yeah, I've been kind of the opposite of with the Raiders. I've just been famously low on the Rams, I guess. Like every week, I feel like I pick against them. This is a big game for Lions and Bears fans, at least those who still have any hopes in the playoffs, if there are any.
Mainly the Bears, because the Bears lost to the Rams, so they need to have a better record than the Rams, which seems unlikely.
And you beat the Bucs, so that's the team you'd rather be in contention with at the end. Yeah. So yeah, obviously two teams that right now look like they're on track for NFC wildcard spots. And my pick here is just based solely on the fact that I do not trust Jared Goff. I think he's a terrible, mediocre quarterback. So I'll take the Bucs -3.
Yeah, I also do not trust Jared Goff. The Rams have honestly been playing pretty well lately. They've definitely stayed, right there with the Cardinals and the Seahawks in terms of record. The Bucs, again, another team that's been a little up and down this year. Like when the Bucs have really good games, and then they have games where they're just really bad.
Yep.
The Bears game, their 2 games against the Saints, and they barely eked out a win against the Giants. So it's a little hard to pick here, but I'm sticking with the Buccaneers on this one.
Nice.
And that's it, right?
Our drive picks of the week.
Wow.
Oh.
Well,
Sorry.
Richie, did you pick this game? You say
I picked one. Yeah, I picked one. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Did
right.
you guys pick one?
Nope.
Well, I'll do my drive.
Richie,
Yeah.
what did you say for Monday Night Football? I forgot.
Oh, I said the Rams.
Okay.
No, wait, no, Bucs. Sorry, Bucs.
Oh, whoops. Okay.
Yeah, I said Bucs.
Real quick side note. One of our viewers in the chat, Skylar, mentioned maybe Packers Colts gets flexed. That's a good possibility. I would also propose Titans Ravens could be the one that gets flexed to Sunday night if Chiefs Raiders gets knocked out of there. Those are probably your 2 best matchups that they would move.
Is Colts Is Colts Packers right now in the afternoon slot?
I think it might be, and that would probably be the one that would get moved for that reason.
Okay. Those are good options. So,
all right, so we're getting into our prop picks of the week, right?
Yes.
Brought to you by
Fantasy.
Woo. All right, Richie, why don't you start?
So my Thrive Fantasy player prop lock of the week is Kyle Murray over 281.5 yards. So it's going to be a shootout. I feel like with the Cards and Seattle, I think. But yeah.
Yeah. No, Thursday night. No, I think that's a great pick. What was it, 285?
281.5.
281.5. Yeah, I mean, I think if the Cardinals want to win that game, he's going to have to throw more than that. So I like good call on that one.
And there's the defense to do it against. So
yeah. Seattle sucks with defense. So
yeah.
Well, I kind of teased this earlier with my Cleveland pick over the Eagles, but my Thrive Fantasy prop pick of the week is Nick Chubb. He's at the over/under is 0.5 rushing TDs. I like the over on this one. What's so funny?
Because last time he just stepped out of bounds, but
yeah,
I
know
it'd be funny if he did it again. Like that's his thing. He just steps out of bounds. Like
I don't know. I feel pretty confident about this one. He's probably, especially with OBJ being out, he's probably their best offensive weapon, and I just see him having a good game against the Eagles. So,
well, that's unfortunate because that was going to be my play too.
Are you going under?
No, I was thinking over.
Oh, okay.
I will take the under on this though, because I'm gonna just take the chances. I'm gonna take the chance that Kareem Hunt steals the touchdown, maybe that red zone touchdown or something. So is it touchdowns or rushing touchdowns?
Rushing touchdowns.
Maybe he catches one instead. So I'll take the under. I'll ride with that and see what happens.
Ooh.
Is that worth more points? I'm guessing.
I think
Drive.
I'm not sure what the point.
I usually like to pick the one that is the over, or the one that's worth more. Probably after last week, the under was the more likely to happen. I don't know, but Well, we'll see who gets the better of that half this week. But either way, one of us won't be wrong.
That's why I did it, to make sure we cover our bases.
Well, before we close out this show, let's run through our picks, as well as our prop picks at the end. So I'll run through mine. Thursday night football, I have the Cardinals over the Seahawks. On Sunday, I have the Browns over the Eagles. Or this is in terms of the spread, by the way. I have the Browns covering Saints, Bengals, Lions, Steelers. I'm skipping Titans, Ravens, Patriots, Dolphins, Jets, Packers, locking the Vikings, Chiefs, and Monday Night Football, the Bucks. And my prop pick was Nick Chubb over 0.5 rushing touchdowns.
Nice. And then my picks are the Cards, the Browns, the Falcons, the Bengals, the Lions, the Jags. I'm skipping the Titans and the Ravens game, the Pats, the Dolphins, which is my my major lock, master lock, whatever you call it, whatever.
Master lock, TM lock of the week.
Jets, Packers, Cowboys, Chiefs, and the Bucks.
Nice. I've got Cardinals, Browns, Saints, Bengals, the Detroit Lions, Steelers, Titans, Patriots, Dolphins, Master Lock, brought to you by Master Lock, Bike Lock of the Week, Chargers, Packers, Cowboys, skipping Chiefs, Raiders, and I've got the Bucks on Monday night.
Very good. What were you guys' prop picks? One more time.
Mine was Kyler Murray over 281.5 yards.
And mine was the opposite of whatever you took. The rushing
You're
touchdown.
You're going basically 0 rushing touchdowns for Nick Chubb.
I think Nick Chubb will, score no touchdowns this week.
Well, that concludes the Shoot Your Shot Scorecast for this week for the NFL. So remember to subscribe so you never miss another pick. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Richie Chicago, at Furious George 94, and at Michigan Hat for all our dumb commentary on the games. We'll be talking about it all day on Sunday. about the results of this game, as well as Thursday night and Monday night probably. So be looking out for that. With all the uncertainty that there is in the world, one thing that is certain is our predictions that you just heard. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week for more NFL picks, and tune in on Friday night, Saturday morning for our college football pick show that'll come out then. Thanks, guys.
Love you guys.